Busy.
What was her name in the show?
Miley Cyrus.
No, it wasn't Miley Cyrus.
No.
It was Miley Stewart.
Miley, yeah, they didn't use the last name.
God, Jack, don't you know?
But her dad played himself too, yeah?
And they had that little her brother that was
He was
he was
so
old
old.
as Jackson.
Yeah.
Was it Jackson?
There's a bit of,
Jackson. Yeah, it was Jackson.
Yeah.
bit of Timmins in there, I reckon.
The
With the
creepiness.
brother.
Not the young 48-year-old. Not really that.
Yeah, we're a young 48-year-old.
Welcome to the round 9 episode of the Magoos. Ben, we are back again after what was my most enjoyable weekend of football in some time.
I bet it was.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Let's get it out of the way.
I tipped 9.
Nice.
9 out of
Good on
9.
you.
Got the margin correct. I don't want to turn this all into me, but as I said, good weekends of footy have been few and far between. So, tip 9, got the margin
Well
correct.
done.
I was one of 24 people on footytips.com.au who received the perfect round.
How big's the pool?
Enormous. A couple of million.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll buy it.
but
I'm not going to look into
in
it.
tipping 9 meant that I also got the best tip, probably the most crucial tip that I'll ever get.
You got the
was-
showdown right, did you?
Yeah, or that as well. But I also got those mighty blue baggers.
Oh,
mate.
you haven't even seen. Oh, you're a piece of work.
Those mighty blue baggers.
Yeah.
Man Cooter. We've finally broken through.
it was whatever. What are you going to do about it? I mean, giving a win to Carlton's not the best in general, but giving them their first win, it's not great.
It's
Not pretty.
it's dire times down at Bomberland, isn't it?
Well, I find it funny how, like, does this shit you as a supporter, right? You have your first win, and you literally get to speak about it for 2 minutes because then it's all about Essendon again. We took the limelight about, like, what's going on down at Bomberland. It's all the talk this week. No one's speaking about Carlton
That's
at
fine.
all.
That's
You're happy with it? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
that's
what's
fine.
in. It's what's inside. Yeah.
We know what's going on.
Yeah.
We're happy to not be in the news and having the whole...
No, good on them.
all the pressure on
Quite
Carlton.
frankly,
so-
after the last 5 years, I'm fucking sick of being in the news.
What is it? Was it 5,000 days? Was that right? Since Essendon won a final? Was it 5,000 cents?
Yeah, look-
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was. It was something like that because it actually turned out that it was Troy Broadbridge's last game. That was the last time Essendon won a final.
Okay.
Yeah, it was back. So what was that? 2005, 2006.
I found that that's
Yeah.
it's a funny stat though, because people, if your club is going by how many just normal finals you win, you're not really striving for greatness, are you? I mean, I'd rather not win a final, but we've won a granny since before you guys have, and a lot of other teams. When I saw this, actually, it was a North Melbourne supporter on Twitter who had tweeted that, and I thought, hang on a minute, like, you might have won a couple of finals here and there, but again, we've won an actual granny earlier than you guys, so that.
Sounds like you're clutching at straws, Ben.
No. I just reckon if you're measuring it just by a final, then I think your bar's pretty low. Like
Yeah.
Carlton tend to raise the roof when they win a final, because it's always like, oh, we shouldn't be there. It's like, well,
Well, I think
Well, they
that
shouldn't have been there that year that
that
they finished
aim
ninth.
high.
the year that we did win our last final,
yeah, that was against the Tigers, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was a great day too. Not as good as Saturday though, because
Not as
I'll
good
tell you
as
what,
Saturday.
there's nothing quite like kicking someone when they're down. And Essendon,
We're the most out of form.
I mean, it's bizarre because really you've only lost 4 games in a row, but I mean it's full panic stations.
But
Isn't it?
it's not that. If you actually watch the games, it's so much more than just losing a couple of games
Yeah, it
in
is.
a row.
It's the
There's
manner
just
in
heaps
how you're
just
losing
not
and-
working.
And old mate Mark Neal gone.
Yeah, good mate of the show. If he's looking for a job,
Can't just keep calling people friend of the show and hope they come on.
Because
that's the
eventually
thing, I
someone's going to see
can't-
that thing. Now I'm not a friend of that show.
any publicity is good publicity. I reckon.
Enemy of the show.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
there you go.
that'll raise-
Our
got a
enemy
few
of the
of them.
show.
Some
Yeah,
eyebrows.
absolutely. Do we have a few of them?
But Neildy, we are looking for a correspondence.
A strategic coach for them.
Maybe not the strategic coach. It's definitely, we need a strategic coach, but maybe not Neildy.
We also need a
I don't
strategy.
know, Essendon have a way of not really dealing with problems well. Problems happen with every club, but when they happen at Essendon, we just shit hits the fan real quick, and we just go, fuck, do something about it, and then we just handle it poorly.
Great for everyone.
It's great
else,
for
yeah.
everyone else, I know. We're a bit of a laughing stock at the moment. But Neildy is... I've heard that like, he's pretty good to get along with from players that have said that. But he hasn't had the most winning culture, sort of.
He's got a poor record, doesn't he?
Poor record. So, yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know the ins and outs of what happens at the club. And a lot of people don't. I did listen to the Goddard interview on SEN with Tim and Gary the other morning. Thought it was good that he was open and honest about a few things, but I'm not sure he hasn't. I mean, people have been talking about how he hasn't laid a tackle in 2 weeks, which is not great. But he did state it's not the number one indicator of effort.
Wish I'd never brought up Essendon.
Quick shout out to Tim and Gaz, 2 more friends of the show.
Yeah, love him.
We did see a lot of good things on the weekend though. Outside of Carlton winning, we had that showdown, which you so eloquently called the Derby last week.
It still technically is.
More technically, it's not though.
But but it is.
So that game of footy and we spoke about last week. The time slot that was on was interesting. I know they packed Saturday's fixture because of the 2 teams that were heading to China this week. So they had 6 games on Saturday. But how that wasn't a Saturday night, and I mean, I know it's... we did say it last week, but now it's sort of even more magnified due to the fact that it was such a good game of footy. But then after that was over, I don't know too many people who went and watched Freo St Kilda.
Yeah,
and just sort of thought...
I'm with you. I mean, you sort of have given away my Kane Corns.
Ooh. But this is why you should start planning
this is why we all should...
He got bumped up earlier this week.
Did it?
Corns. Yeah. We'll be seeing it a bit earlier in the show.
Oh, well, there you go. That means, you know what that means?
Do it now?
Go. No, it means that on its last legs.
We'll just be earlier in the show.
Ben will just put it at the start, so it's not that lasting taste that people get.
Yeah, we do end up on not a sour note, but I do get worked up sometimes about a couple of the Kane Corns of the weeks, but
Well, let's get stuck into it, Ben. How's that sound?
Shall we?
Let's go for it. Ben, as we said earlier, your fleeting segment has been found its way.
I'm bloody fuming, Jake.
Up the
You look it.
the run sheet. So I guess without further ado, for what could be one of the last editions of Kane Corns of the week, we might throw to you.
Don't forget Magoo's moment's coming up too, and I can just as well play the devil's advocate on that one too.
Yeah, but then it just looks like it's like tit for tat if you do it that way.
Petty,
so
I am petty.
So it's really poor.
So I don't mind. Kane Corns of the week this week is it's an easy one. You already mentioned it. Is going to the AFL scheduling officer. Don't know if it's probably a group of people, but so as you discussed last Saturday night, they had Dogs versus Lions and Fremantle versus St Kilda. Now I would rather watch paint dry on a wall. Honestly, it was. I know you give me that look, but as you said, they had the showdown. That was a couple of hours earlier. I don't care if it was in Adelaide. It's what are they? Half an hour behind?
Yeah, well, they're less behind than Perth.
Well, a lot less. My funny story. My oldest brother, used to think that Perth was a day behind us, 24 hours, and he was 30 when he said this.
Are we changing the Kane Corns of the week?
But
this segment is on the way out. Then you got to bring up family anecdotes.
Not just last Saturday. I find it funny this week. They've got in the same week. This is probably the same scheduling office. So in the same week they have the Country Clash, which is Essendon versus Geelong. It's a great initiative. I like it. In the same round they have the Country Clash. They also have a game in China. Now it's a little bit ironic. How you're celebrating the country, farmers, all that sort of thing. Yet, ironically, a third of Australia's farmland is actually owned by China. Not to get political on the show.
Is that right?
It's close to a third.
Yeah, that's as political as
Google that at home, ladies and gentlemen. Just basically that's just gonna wrap that one up quickly. AFL officer, not happy. The scheduling officer.
Wait, didn't that go to China, or to your brother? Who did it go to?
I said at the start, it goes to the AFL scheduling officer.
You've got me confused.
No, you're just doing this because I haven't actually got that worked up on this, and you're like, oh, let's get him going.
This is probably the last we'll see of that call.
I think it's. Actually, I'll add on top of that.
Here we go.
It's been a couple times. Now, I understand during the Olympics that we just had, the Commonwealth Games, they...
during the Olympics?
I believe they had the derby on at the same time.
Oh,
Cooter's copped it. He's just fallen over with laughter. It's too much for him.
Yeah.
They had... I understand Channel 7 put the footy on 7 Mate during the Commonwealth Games, and that's all right. But then a couple of weeks later, they also had My Kitchen Rules on a Tuesday night. It was the night before Anzac Day, and they decided to put the football on 7 Mate as well.
And with all again this Saturday
with the football for the royal wedding,
Royal wedding again.
which I couldn't give two shits about, just between us three.
But like they've just gone through all the effort
between us three.
between us three and the others. It's going to him. I've just lost track.
So what relevance does? No, I think we'll
Yeah,
leave it there. And that
Just
was Cane
absolutely
Corns of the
cool.
Week.
Let's freshen it up with our new segment.
I've taken the reins.
Yeah,
on
go
the
for
Guminati
it.
this
Let's
week, Ben.
wrap.
Yeah, we
Let's
realised
get it
that
going.
Ben was talking for about 10 minutes in a row last week when you had the two segments in a row.
Don't worry about Curtis.
So
He's dead.
I went to Jack and I said, I've seen something that I've actually used your personal spies to get a little bit of intel that you often use on this show, as we've had with some Damien Hardwick footage, and some of your Ben Brown investigations have been quite good. But I have actually developed a theory that this footage that we're about to see now catches you in the act of burning an Essendon scarf. So if we just have a look here, we have what looks to be damning evidence of an upset, and you look to be crying at the time. Ben Franzini at MCG on Saturday burning his scarf. Is that right?
No comment on that one, Jake. I don't think you can prove that was specifically myself, although I am down a scarf at home.
I was going to say, I remember after round one, after you beat the Crows, you were wearing a beanie and a scarf, and I have not seen...
You can only see the beanie.
Yeah, nah. Wasn't me. You can Magoo all you like. I think the evidence shows it could have.
It's
There are a lot of people.
definitely you.
I look like a lot of
that is
people.
you.
Just a generic sort of white dude.
Joe Everyman.
Yeah.
So while we're talking all things Ben, and scarf burning, we are just going to take this opportunity to give the socials a good plug.
What have we got this week, Benny?
We don't actually.
Nothing. The community's gone
We were a
quiet.
bit quiet on the Twitter
Okay.
Twitter this week.
Interesting, isn't it? So, you can hit us up. We are on Instagram and Twitter, and the handles are at the Magoos and then a little underscore.
It should pop up on the screen right about now.
Yes,
Hoping-
there it is. Yep.
Dave.
And then, of course, the Magoos podcast on Facebook. You can find us there, and YouTube as well, which is obviously where all the episodes stream. But make sure you
I
do.
did it. I'll put it in.
Oh, perfect.
look.
Good stuff.
on you.
There it is. Look at that.
Yeah, we
What's
did
up?
I actually did want to ask a question to our producer. I wanted an unbiased opinion on what you thought about the Jed Lamb and Mark Bagley incident that happened on the last weekend. Now, you're looking at me like, I didn't watch any football on the weekend.
No. I'm around it. And I think shots are to be fired at Robbo for this one.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, he just reported the whole thing, completely sensationalised it when it was resolved after the game.
Not Mark Robinson. He would never do that, would he?
No, he did it. Unbelievable.
I'm just flabbergasted.
We should probably give some context to the story about how... Who was it? It was...
Jed Lamb.
Jed Lamb.
Yeah, and Mark Bagley.
His father
Was
murdered.
murdered when he was 6, yeah.
Yeah, and
I don't know why you had to clarify. It doesn't matter. Keep going.
Yeah.
And then, just a few comments got thrown his way without Bagley knowing about the whole incident, which a lot of Australia didn't know. And Mark Robinson decided to just jump on that and just completely blow it out of the water. Not very happy with him.
Nice.
Never have been.
I like that take. You've gone for Robbo, which I reckon that's
Almost
good.
the easiest of targets in that. Did you know?
Very
Also
big target as well.
saw the other day, just while we're talking about Robbo, that Chris Fagan, the coach at the Brisbane Lions, accidentally included Mark Robinson in a group text to all 22 of the players. He accidentally pushed Mark Robinson instead of Mitch Robinson.
Oh, you're king.
Oh, it was just about...
Could you imagine if Robbo just rocks up to St Kilda Beach on Sunday morning and Mitch Robinson doesn't? Robbo's just in his Speedos at recovery.
Especially because they're based in Brisbane.
Well, they might have played in Victoria.
They did.
But I wouldn't be sleeping at that hour anyway.
yeah, they
6
had,
o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah, it was just like your week's plans are coming through soon, guys. Whatever. Make sure you buy your phones and check your email or something.
Oh,
and apparently, Robbo just sent back like a few emojis just to sort of like give it away.
Yeah.
And then a few of the players were onto it, and then Fagan rang Mark Robinson, and they had a bit of a laugh apparently.
Oh,
But
they had a laugh. That's good.
yeah,
They had a
you know,
laugh. Yeah.
all's well that ends well.
So did Mark write,
Mark.
full-page piece on it in the
Why
Herald Sun
Fagan
the
can't
next
use
day?
his phone and the lines are unravelling.
And what it means for lives.
Okay, Ben, it is time for me to save the show.
Can't wait.
After the fleeting cane corns of the week.
It wasn't the best, that one.
It was
but,
awful. It never has been good.
Multiple.
But it's time for the Magoo's moment of the week, and we're bouncing back strong with this segment this week. So it was an easy one. It was settled after we were on air last week because Ben Ronk of the Sydney Swans in his third game kicked 7 goals.
How good was
It was
that?
incredible.
Was it 7 straight? I believe it was. I'm going to run with that.
I dare say that it was 7 straight. Yeah. Because I don't remember him kicking a point. So if I don't remember it, it didn't happen. It was, in fact, 7 straight. Yes.
Yes.
So he's the first Swan in history to have kicked 7 goals and have 10 tackles in a game. So that elusive... Wow. I'm not sure if that's an elusive double or if he's just...
Well, 10 tackles to go along with it is huge. That's amazing.
So I heard him say after the game that's what John Longmire came up to him straight away and said. He said 10 tackles is ultra impressive, whatever, and then that flows onto the goals.
I like that in the coach because,
highlighting the stuff
that... the goals.
Yeah, easy and probably the correct thing to do also.
When it's 7 straight.
Only 3 other Swans have kicked 7-goal bags or more. Mm-hmm. Can you name them?
I'm gonna say Buddy.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Lockett.
Yep.
Plugger.
And I'm gonna Mickey
One
O.
more, no.
No.
Jack, any?
Does Nick Davis's
No.
4 count as more?
No,
in
doesn't.
the final?
Counts as 4. 4 is 4.
Yeah, well done.
Barry Hall. Barry
8.
Hall
Oh.
kicked.
Oh,
So
bad bustling.
that is
It was
an
obvious too,
that is an
wasn't it?
elusive group to be joining. Lockett, Hall, Franklin, and Ronk. The only Swans to kick 7 in a game. So he missed the draft. So the reason why this is a bit of a Magoo's moment, obviously third game, but he was overlooked in the draft and then went through the back door through the rookie draft and now has earned a NAB Rising Star nomination, as he should too, with 7 goals in a game. And he kicked Sydney into beating the Hawks down here, a win that they really needed, the Swans, after dropping a close one to North Melbourne. And they're going okay, the Swans. They seem to be able to generate these young guys that come through and have a real impact. So the Magoo's moment of this week goes to Ben Ronk for his 7 goals in just his third game.
7 goals.
Good
well
stuff.
Done. Now he's obviously getting a game next week. You'd think.
I dare say so.
Sounds funny, but a good friend of mine back when he was playing under 19s football got the call up once to the team he couldn't quite get a game for. Then got the call up, kicked 6 goals. Got dropped.
No.
Who's this?
I'm not naming names on air, but this is a true story. He kicked 6 and then wasn't named the next week.
That's filthy.
Huge,
You got to be filthy, surely. I can kick 6 in my whole career, and
I didn't even get 6 kicks.
yeah. But Steve, you'd be having words with the coach, surely.
It's incredible, isn't it? I think Ben Ronk will play.
I think he should. I think he should, Jake.
So we'll have just before we wrap up, we'll have a little bit of a look ahead, Ben, into what we like from this week. So we've got some interesting games. We've actually sort of looking at it. There's a couple that aren't overly that interesting
I'm going
either.
to be completely honest. There's
a few. I mean, I don't mind tonight's game. Adelaide and the Dogs. I think the Dogs might show up over there. Adelaide
they're
have
only a
been-
win outside the 8. However,
they've beaten absolutely no one.
yeah,
they've beaten a lot of the
yeah,
lower sides.
that's
But
fair call.
I think you could get north of GWS. That is a really important game.
Yeah.
While there's a lot of the season to go, the loser of this sort of starts to drop away. There's sort of be a bit more of a gap. Here, 9th v 10th down in Tassie too. So GWS, they would.
You've got the loser of this game. You reckon is not going to?
I think they'll start to find it hard. Yeah.
I'm honestly convinced.
I'm a big GWS man, but
I'm convinced you've got 3 teams making the 8 this year.
well, it's easy to
I'm
say
absolutely
they can't make it.
convinced.
Essendon need to respond against Geelong.
You know what?
They need to do something.
I've got a
don't
good
they?
feeling that we will. I think we will. I reckon.
We'll what?
Honestly, losing to Carlton is a rock bottom.
Well, not quite.
Yeah, it is.
It's yuck.
It's yuck. It's yucky. It's not great. I think we will bounce back. Whether we win, I don't know. I would like to just see competitiveness for 4 quarters.
Well, it's sad for a team that was going to win the flag, isn't it? Now,
Yeah,
you just want to see them
no,
try.
Just remember this
a long
time.
year, football.
This time last year, Geelong had 30-something tackles against Essendon, and it was like the worst display. Like that's team tackles, by the way.
Yeah.
And then we came out the next week and played the Doggies
That's
up in
right, you
Geelong.
laid
and
what? The record, wasn't it?
144.
Yeah. So I'm hoping you guys will
And
be
won the
like, oh, it's
game.
Essendon.
Come
and then
out
we
breathing
just
fire.
actually. But game of the round, I think, obviously, is that last game.
It is,
I
isn't
think
it?
we could
Yeah.
agree that West Coast versus Richmond 1v2.
Isn't it?
going to be a cracker. Although I'm going to say for just a bit of a roughie, I think Sydney versus Fremantle might be a better game than people expect. You'll either have a good laugh at me on next week's show if I was completely wrong. But I think
It'll be one of those low scoring ones.
Yeah, it might be low scoring, but I think Fremantle
Down quickly.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Sydney will dismantle Fremantle. They will beat them by approximately 35 points.
all right, you'll be bang on as well. And I just can't get anything wrong. I think it'll be a good game.
And just before we go, Ben, I was just looking at the 8. Richmond, West Coast, Geelong, Adelaide, Hawthorn, Melbourne, Sydney, Port.
Yeah, I can't.
Is that set?
Without
it's
hearing
not,
other...
obviously.
Who's on the outer?
Well, then sits GWS are 2 points behind Port, and then a game out of the 8 are North Melbourne, Collingwood, Fremantle, Western Bulldogs.
Yeah, after those 9 and 10, I can't see anyone else, mate. Collingwood have been good, but I don't think they're going to make the 8.
GWS when they get all their players back, maybe.
GWS are the only ones that can come in, but one of those sides misses. Nah, North are at the finals.
Well, it's going to be hard for someone to miss for them.
I can't... I mean, it's going to be tight. I mean... I know that they're only 2 points in some of these. Like Geelong are only 2 points in the 8 and they're third. But, I mean, Richmond, West Coast, Geelong, Adelaide, Hawthorn, Melbourne, Sydney, Swans, Port. For GWS to go in, one of them has to miss. And that will be a huge failure for one of those sides. Unless Hawthorn sort of drop away, but I don't see that happening. One of those sides, and if GWS don't make it, I know they've had a lot of injuries, but, yeah, that's going to be...
If GWS don't make it, does Thingon get there?
Oh, Leon. No, I don't think so.
They're talking Clarkson up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were also talking Buddy Franklin there too for a while.
Yeah, I don't think Clarko's going anywhere. Clarko does what he wants. He's in his own.
Oh, he got to do what he wanted this week.
Yeah, he wrote a memo.
Yeah, how is that? Bizarre, isn't it?
Who writes memos? Hawthorn are notorious for getting rules changed.
My manager at RSL.
Yeah.
RSL.
Chuck it in the suggestion box, but a memo is very like, do you reckon he sat down and just wrote it out?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do.
You reckon he did?
I think he did that.
Good on you.
So, Ben, good to sit here. Good to chat with you again.
It's been great.
Well, it's been all right. Much better when...
Very cynical.
I've found out that it's much better when Carlton win.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'm in a better mood too when Essendon get a win on the weekend against Jack's Mob.
Yes, well, Carlton... If Carlton beat Melbourne, you might not see me next week.
Carlton won't beat Melbourne. They've got no chance.
Okay.
Melbourne
Go to sound like me. Stop trying to...
I just want to sign off.
Okay, so that's us done. Another round in the books. Ben, Jack, you've both been very good.
As have you.
Cheers.
We're here. Follow us on the socials. Sponsor us. However you can take us on
And
board
we are
with you.
actually taking suggestion boxes. If you want to just, bit of what might be nice. We're just taking everything.
Any thoughts from the news
now?
community we'll take.
Well, we think we should.
All right, done.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
later, everybody.